Okay, welcome everyone to the first weekly show after the second pay-per-view. I am Chase Wassenaar, and I am joined here by Xander. How you doing, man?
I am doing well, only a little sick, and very happy coming off of my second place asterisk.
Yeah, I think certainly. Well, the second place has no asterisk to it. I think that was hard earned, and you should be proud of that, and not aspiring for that which is beyond your station. Would be maybe one way to
Mm,
think about it. At
mm.
least for
Interesting,
now,
interesting.
as
Okay.
which is it's easy for me to say because I'm the one with 2 points.
Mm,
But
asterisk.
I,
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah, like this is the rivalry, folks. But the point of these weeklies, right, is to set up the next pay per view. The next pay per view is a gold pay per view. It's not currently worth more points on our total scoring system, but arguably it should be. It's certainly the time in which the most people will be paying attention, and you can have the biggest rise in fans and prestige for your event. So we're going to be building up these weeklies, trying to put ourselves in a position to win that first gold pay per view of the year. And to kind of recap how our scoring is going to work now, we're going to total up the 3 weekly cards that we do between pay per views and basically count that like one show. So you don't need to win each individual week, but the progress from each week is going to help you get to that total. So there's a lot on the line. It's worth these weeklies end up being worth a point, which is that's the whole reason we're here, and also that whole spending good time with friends thing. But
Yeah, I guess that part matters too,
yeah,
right?
I mean, it's there. It's all part of the soup that we call this experience. But for now, I think it's time to jump in, and because I do have the first place, no asterisk, no idea what you're talking about.
Uh huh. Uh
I
huh.
think I should go first here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll just go
Absolutely. I
in
agree.
reverse card order first to um, participation. We have my first match of the night. It is Derek Nash and Shane Mack. Now, you may be noticing for the Kingdom here. There are 3 faction feuds that will be taking place between now and my gold pay per view. It is for the Kingdom, for the Power, and for the Glory. Which those of you who have spent any time in a Christian church will recognize immediately. Yes, I did spend 12 years in Catholic school. No, I'm not happy
What?
about it, but I do get to make references like this and feel slightly intelligent for a little bit. So we've got, I mean, this is the For the Kingdom weekly show. It's all going to be Eastern Elite versus Northern Nightmare on this card. And it starts with 2 great competitors. Derek Nash, 4-4, well over with the crowd. 792, so he's right on the verge of being a main eventer. But Shane Mack, he's also incredibly talented. A 4-3, 25-year-old face. Relatively close to the main event threshold. Certainly someone who it'd be nice to continue to build up, maybe get that charisma up at some point. But Xander, who do you think I went with?
It's got to be Derek Nash. I mean, the guy is literally right there on the cusp. He is the 4-4. He's also still only 28 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be there, and it's a great 5-star match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's going to get For the Kingdom to 132 in one match because faction feuds are a little broken when it comes to hype. It seems like that's my theory at least.
No way.
We'll see how it plays out.
Who figured that out?
Yeah, it's some guy.
Some guy.
Sure, I read it on the Discord or something.
Definitely not me. Oh yeah, but
Definitely
also
not the
holy
reason you got 50,000 fans in your last pay per view, for sure. But yeah, that holy shit moment does look pretty
holy
good.
shit moment. Yeah.
Jumped onto a pile of electrical equipment. I think I haven't seen that one before. So
No, that's actually unique. Nice. I love seeing new stuff here.
Mhm. Now we have our first quadruple threat match. It's a 4v4 team match here, I should say. We've got the Eastern Elite with DJ Vector, Vinny Stack, Sammy Emerald, and Eli Chaos.
Eli Chaos
Versus the Northern Nightmare. This is Devin Moxie, Ashton Nieves, Rob DeBlasi, and Connor Hansen. Ashton, of course, is our current King of the Thunderdome champion. Whereas, with the Eastern Elite, you've got a lot of guys who are on the rise, right? Sammy
Yeah.
Emerald would love to get more time and attention. Eli Chaos is a legend. Vinny Stacks, I think, is right on the cusp. And DJ Vector's happy to be here. So, obviously you've seen a little bit more popularity for the Northern Nightmare here. There's slightly better charisma. But where do you think this goes?
Yeah, I'm going with Moxie and Brokeback Mountain there. I think that's where we end up. Northern Nightmare take this. It's not even close. They're the goats right now. Plural.
They,
Um,
they are doing very well, which is why it's so important that the Eastern Elite get some wins here.
what? Okay,
Um,
no, fair enough. Crazy.
because
Got it.
yeah, we
And
need
and
to
you
get.
got the holy shit moment. Sammy Emerald doing the work.
Yep, and the For the Kingdom feud became hot. So now the
Nice.
overness of all of its participants, am I reading that correctly?
It would appear that all participants got that benefit right there.
That would be helpful, yeah. So now DJ Vector and Vinny Stacks are both starting to get over with the fans, and that is a holy shit moment. Sammy Emerald jumping through the table, which gets him an additional 2%. I'm feeling pretty good about how that went down. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's going well. I mean, your producer here obviously working to make sure that you don't get too crazy too quickly.
But here's the thing: Michael Himalayan, that's a near 14% overness change. He
Yeah,
is
yeah,
now
yeah.
over
No,
with
no.
the
Michael
fans.
Himalayan, the success for Michael is there. All right. I just meant that your producer didn't want to give you that 4-star because he's rude.
That's true. He
Um,
was slightly less effective than I would like him to be, but
yeah.
that's our pal Gus. He's doing his best. I look forward to replacing him one day.
I look
Uh,
forward to he's doing his best. Can't wait to fire his ass.
yeah, okay. Look, man, that's capitalism, baby.
Capitalism, baby.
But here we got Liquid Steel, or at least 2/3 of Liquid Steel. Brady Killjoy and
Okay.
LT Barone, both of whom would really love a win right about now. They've got very gifted acrobats, know how to take some risks. But this is a submission match, and you're looking at Vance Porter and Hideo Dato, big match specialists, some bleeders on here, some tag team specialists. So they know how to work as a duo. Which of these two stands out to you as the one worth giving a win?
Ooh, this is rough. I mean, I think that no bullshit benefit a little bit more because they go over. They've also taken 3 losses, so giving them the dub here, I think, has a pretty positive impact. They're also the 3-3 straight up tag team specialists, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
again, if it's me, that's who I'm giving it to. If you give it to Liquid Steel, I understand, but I
No,
think I think no bullshit should
it's
get it.
no bullshit in this match, my friend.
Yep, yep,
That's just
good.
going to get him
We
over.
we agree.
Yes, and no major overness change for no bullshit. Though I have to imagine they're getting a little bit closer. They're at 799
Oh
overall.
yeah, they're
So
they're so close. They're
there's
right on that cusp there.
there's one member in particular I'm trying to get. I believe it's Hideo Dato. I'm
Hideo Dotto.
trying to get him there, but one step at a time. You will
Yep.
note so far it is 2 games for the Northern Nightmare and 1 for the Eastern Elite. As we get into Hall of Pain versus Larger Than Life. These are two
Ooh.
duos that have been going head to head for a while now. This is not a new feud, I don't
Have either
believe.
of them won though?
No,
No. So
no,
they've been in
they've been in
three and
like
four ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, they've been fighting for that
Okay.
title and not quite getting there. But the Hall of Pain, obviously, you look at River Dannenberg, Jackson Hall, and Asher Collins, a trio that has a lot of really just gifted acrobats, risk takers, people.
Leaders.
Yeah, people who are willing to put in that work to make the match extra special. But you also have larger than life Michael Himalayan, who just got over with the crowd. Ali Noble and Matthew Donovan, also some great storytellers, people who know how to turn a feud and make it something special.
Yeah.
Who do you think's got it from this?
I would give it to Hall of Pain here. A, because I think you just gave Michael Himalayan the boost that he personally needs going into this. Even though I would expect him to maybe take the loss because Hall of Pain, again, you see their popularities right on the cusp. They're also really young guys, right? Like the 23.7 average. And I like their traits a little bit more for building them up as potential champions.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like, I mentioned the Eastern Elite came into this maybe the least like popular faction had a little bit of a reputation
Uh,
hit. But this is going to be another great match
and
for.
look at that. Look at that. All like 5.25 star match. Great form. I bet you get a holy shit moment for that too, don't you? I bet you do.
I totally did. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
absolutely. 30 creativity points. It was an Iron Man match, so definitely more
So
expensive, but I wanted to
yeah, so
bring
that you needed
them to
some
the
money back on
surface.
that one, but it's worth it. That's a big match,
And
man.
it got Collins to be over with the fans.
Yeah.
There's I don't know why the text is different between these two things, but they do work the same way. So it's nice to have Asher Collins as a 4-4 moving forward. That was the goal. Mission accomplished. Go team here.
Go team
Um,
here.
Main event package. Let's not talk about it too much because it's time for the main event. Now this is
2.75 stars. Just saying.
it's not.
Uh,
Look, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
what was that about Gus we were saying earlier?
He's gonna have a great time hanging out at the dumpster where we found him. That is the lore of this league, and it is not proven to
Uh-huh.
be incorrect at this time.
Nope. Nope.
But we've got a duo here: the El Muerte Blanco and La Bestia del Infierno. Those are two title holders. They are two people who, one is holding the main men's belt, one is holding the Flame Warlock belt. So I think they kind of
Yeah.
speak for themselves, really. But meanwhile, you've got Fishbone, who was a face of the company, just lost his status recently and would love to get it back. And Fuerza de Dragon, a guy who's done well when facing people not named La Bestia del Infierno, but that has been his main feud. So,
Gotcha.
do you think Northern Nightmare continues their reign here, or does
Ooh,
Eastern Elite
this
go
is
off an
rough
upset?
because I like Eastern Elite. Obviously, you're trying to give a little bit of love to. They were kind of the punching bag. This could be a good match to pick that up a little bit. If you don't mind, of course, Northern Nightmare taking a hit. That being said, Fuerza de Dragon has been losing to La Bestia del Infierno. So, I also can see saying, hey, you know what? I want to build this feud up with La Bestia still being on top. And then maybe something crazy happens at the pay per view, So I could really see this going either way. That's my long way of saying I could see this going either way. I think you maybe give it to Eastern Elite here, though.
I am giving it to Eastern Elite, both
Yes,
because I
yes,
want Fishbone back to being where he was. I want his.
yeah.
I want him back to being face of the company range. But also because the gold pay per view is about to happen. Some feuds are about to be paid off, and
And you got to hype them up. Yeah,
individually perhaps they could not get there, but with their powers combined, I think maybe they're capable of more than even they realized.
we
No
love it.
holy shit moment for that one, unfortunately. But I do get a 4.5
Yeah,
star card, which
very respectable card.
I'm
Good
gonna take that to
90
the
extra
bank, honestly.
points. Yeah, and 90 extra points, so you at least paid for your Iron Man match and then some.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about how that ended up. I'm gonna take that as
Yeah.
the win that it is.
No, that was a great card, man. I mean, again, and also genuinely, you end up with a near 5 star if your one production doesn't give you 2.75 stars. If Gus Sanchez, stops doing that dumpster dive and does his job instead.
Yeah, I'm not going to count on that in the near
Yeah,
future. But I
yeah,
am going to move on to our next card of the night, which is your card. You got a whole bunch of cash
yes,
recently for finishing your deathmatch goal. So it's time
yes.
now to see what your card has
All
in
right.
store for us.
So we're gonna be upfront, okay?
Uh-huh.
That this series is the entire goal is to build some hype for some things, blow some stuff off that was a little getting to where it was going to be stale, and sort of building some narratives for the main card. This is one of our cheapest cards yet. Okay, so this is kind of a no frills card. I just want to be upfront about it so people aren't surprised. They're like, "Wow, Xander really went on the low end here." Like what is Xander doing? No, guys, this is the long term build card. Okay, so that's what tonight's about. That being said, we hyped up the package, the feud between Emma Fry and Maricela Reyes, who
Yeah.
are some lower end wrestlers. Neither of them is super charismatic. Kind of makes sense that it was only 3 stars.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
I'll say
Theo
was
Walters
expected.
is hanging out of the same bin as Gus Sanchez, I think.
Yeah, exactly. We found them in the same place. All right. But that being said, we've got some young talent here that we are working on. We've got some lower end young talent who we are building up here. All right. We've got Maricela, Emma, Kyra, and Paisley. Okay. And I will say that of these three, that Paisley and Kyra are two that we have really sort of been working on. Kyra is just now starting to get some momentum going here. Chase, I know you know, but what do you have to say about this card?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I look at Marcelo Reyes, upper mid carder, someone who's hoping to get in the main event, and I'm seeing her face off against a jobber and two lower mid carders, and I feel like this is just like, look, Maricela needs a win. Who cares who we throw against her? As
Yeah.
long as the mission is
Well, and
accomplished.
she's had this feud with Emma Fry for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's time. Maricela, in her two losses, she was actually still in better matches. So, um, yeah, and it works out perfectly actually. Like honestly, for what this was one upper mid carder with two lower carders and a jobber that she had a feud with that maybe I probably should have gotten rid of sooner. But
But
yeah,
I mean,
and it ends
it
up
was
being a
a
great feud.
it was a 4.5 star feud. You gotta love that.
Yeah,
You gotta love a holy shit moment.
yeah.
Suplexing her into the apron. That's what you want from this kind of feud. And I think you look at Fall from Grace as a decent start. There's a lot to like in how that broke down. But we're on to an ambulance match, which is something you unlocked
Yes.
very recently. And you picked
Yes,
two
I
very
did.
talented people to get to enjoy it.
Yeah, Hanada Shiroki and Anastasia. Anastasia, who's been, I don't want to say a little bit of a punching bag, but a little bit of a punching bag, okay, for some of our upper mid card and main event ladies. But she's really talented. A great heel for us. But then we also have Hanada Shiroki, who has not gotten a win yet because everything she has been a part of has featured our most talented women. So, definitely someone we're looking to start building up a little bit. 839, 23 years old, 4'4". You love to see it. What do you got to say, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both talented wrestlers. My instinct would always be to go for Hanada here because she is the 4-4 rather than the 4-3, and she doesn't
Hmm.
have a win to her name, and you want to make sure she has at least one. But
Yep.
ambulance matches, typically you would imagine the heel is maybe willing to be a little bit more uh, desperate and a little bit more willing to cross the line to get them in that ambulance. Especially since we see a chainsaw here, whereas Hanada seems to be going unarmed. Not something I would recommend personally for Hanada, but I think somehow it's going to work out for her on this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be going to Hanada. She does defend herself here, and look at that. We're happy about it. It's a 5-star match, full of action,
Yeah.
and for a first ambulance match, I feel like these two wrestlers were exactly what we were looking for with the promotion.
Absolutely. And it's a hot match, right? You love to see the morale boosts and the overness
Yep.
boosts and the popularity boosts. This is one of those, a tide can lift all ships sometimes. And that's exactly what you were hoping for. You're also hoping for Carson Gold, new character, because we found out that he didn't have a gimmick, which felt like a
Yeah.
thing that needed to be fixed. And this one gives him a little bit of an overness change and a popularity boost. It ended up being a good gimmick,
Nice.
very
Yeah, we
close
like that.
to a great
Agreed.
one.
Yeah.
So,
But
I
confident big shot. His new thing. He was a playboy before. Now, that he's starting to get some momentum behind him, getting the wins. He's a confident big shot. Not exactly again what I would want Theo Walters to be doing on these packages, but it is going to be all right.
I have seen worse, and that's always worth holding on to in times like these. But we do have Elliot Hangtime versus Alexis Kovac. Elliot, of course, he's a tag belt champion, so this is not Philip Hangtime with his intercontinental belt, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
And then Alexis, of course, a
Or it's
four
cruiserweight
four
rather, but yeah,
or cruiserweight. Thank you.
yeah.
A 4-4, incredibly talented. Would love to break up the hang time supremacy that we have seen in this outlet. Um, I mean, where I know where this is going. So why don't you tell the audience what you picked and why?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember what I picked for this
Oh,
actually. So you're surprising me here because I don't remember. I will tell you my arguments for both, and then you go with whatever I selected,
Yeah, I
and
will.
I'll get to react to it because I don't remember. I genuinely forgot.
Okay.
Alexis though. So Alexis, here's the thought process with Alexis. You've got a 35-year-old face, or someone who's a little bit older, but they're a 4-4. They're extremely talented. They are one of the only people here that can actually push to contest the hang times. Okay, and then you've got Elliot Hang Time. Okay, someone who's been in Hang Time Heresy, has basically won every single tag team match he's been a part of. Hasn't really been in anything singles related yet because he's been spending so much time being dominant with Hang Time Heresy, is trying to vie for his brother's position and get up there along with Eric and Johnny, because Eric just moved up there. So Elliot being like the third brother. But I do believe that's why Alexis takes it today, because Alexis is making that push.
Alexis is making that push. Alexis is
Yes.
taking it
Okay.
today.
Great.
And it is a hot match, and it does give you a holy shit moment. So
Let's go.
he
Awesome.
refused to give up as he crawled around for 2 minutes in Elliot Hangtime submission. The fans have got to love it. I'm sure the Hangtime brothers will have a conversation with him, but if Elliot's having a hard time with it, he seems nonplussed because of that overness and popularity boost. So, great match all around here. For a card that you said kind of introduced as a throwaway at the top, I think this is largely going pretty
this
well.
is working out for a throwaway card. I'm going to be honest with you.
But
okay,
yeah, this is the match.
This is the match. All right, so listen. These are not our highest end wrestlers, okay? These are upper mid carders. These are guys that are getting close to being main eventers. But importantly, they are primary representatives of the two, I don't want to say lower end factions, but relative to where, Conquest or Glory and For the People are, these are the two lower end factions. Burn It All Down rapidly becoming the guys that are able to contest at the highest level. And getting matches. They've got, of course, Executioner Goro as their leader, someone who is rapidly becoming the most notable heel in the promotion outside of Johnny Hangtime and the Hangtime brothers. And then you've got Band of Brigands, which has Hendrix and Super, Kota Super, someone who's been a phenomenal performer for the promotion. I'd love to hear your thoughts here.
Well, here's the thing. I believe this is a blow-off match. I may be wrong
It
on
is.
that.
It is a tag steel cage match, blow off, and the faction disbands.
And when I see our faction disband, I think to myself, well, Burn It All Down, I believe, is the one led by Executioner Goro, who's been doing great work, has gotten a major push within your promotion recently, and someone for whom removing a faction would be a massive blow to everything that he's building. And on the other hand, the Band of Brigands don't have a faction leader and feel like a collective of people who are thrown together to make for some fun matches for a time. And so I feel like this is Burn It All Down's match to lose.
It is. It is Burn It All Down's match to take here. And also I want to highlight General Hayashima, okay, is... Ooh, that's actually pretty ugly. But... All right, and wow, Love Hendrix no longer over with the fans. So I don't understand that hit, though, to Burn It All Down in this. But we'll have to figure that out at another date. And we got a holy shit moment out of it.
Did it not end the feud?
It did.
No, it said Band of Brigands disbanded.
Yeah, so it ended the feud. I just...
I'm not seeing a ranking
and it was
for the feud.
No, it was lower. It's right there. No? Above. End of the line, right there.
Oh, here it is, 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 star. But for some reason they lost.
It didn't seem stale. Maybe because it was settled in a 2v2 between like those mid-card people rather than the leaders. That is shocking to me.
I mean, one of them didn't have leaders, and to be fair, Burn It All Down, those are, Hayashima is still a upper-end guy in that promotion, in that faction, so, I don't know. You know what? Kind of sucks, but, a little disappointing, but we got the steel cage, increase, we got the 30, what's it called? And Burn It All Down moves up to Rep 6, so at the end of the day, it's still furthered the goals here. For the card, And 4-star. Hey, 4-star paid for itself for the most part. We'll take it. Honestly, I'm happy with the lower end of the card here that really overperformed. A bit bummed that the final match here didn't do so hot.
Yeah, just for the overness alone, right? Like if it was a
Yeah.
popularity hit,
Hendricks and
like
Super.
fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
Hendricks was over at a 22-point hit to these two.
yeah,
You knew it was going to be a hit because they were going to
yeah.
lose the
Of
faction.
course.
But I don't
Yeah,
understand the overness hit here. Something went wrong in that match, and
yeah.
it now
And
has me a
it
little
is
bit
not it
terrified for
is
my
not
feuds
telling us what
to
it
wrap.
is. Yeah.
Um, but we move on.
4-star match though, yeah. Hey, 4-star match. I'm happy with it. That was supposed to be a throwaway card. I honestly expected like a 3.5, 3 3/4, star going in there. So the fact that we came away with 4 stars, and on something we didn't spend a whole lot of creativity points on. Honestly, more than happy with how that all turned out, and we'll make some adjustments to get Coda Super and Love Hendricks taken care of later.
Yeah, well, speaking of not spending a lot of creativity points, it's time for Walter's card here.
It's time for Walter's card.
He's got so many points to spend on this gold pay-per-view, and I think fans are going to be very excited to see the arc he has planned for the actual event. But we're going to start with Nora Nunes versus Brooklyn Cambrille. Nora, someone who would love to get into that kind of lower mid card range. Someone who is on the cusp of that and has been a solid worker, put in some good matches overall. Brooklyn, of course, on the verge of becoming a main eventer. Also a great worker and someone who hasn't gotten a win yet. Between these two, in this greatest wrestler feud we have here, Brooklyn, yeah,
No sleep till. All right. As the director of Brooklyn College, all right. If Brooklyn Cambrille does not win this, I'm going to have a stern discussion with Mr. C80s.
I will say it's a very religious match. In Nora Nunes' I Am a Goddess versus the Supreme Deity, Brooklyn Cambrille. You would not think that this was a deity versus deity match, but Brooklyn is the Supreme Deity, so no surprise here that she gets
Yes.
the win. She
Correct
does.
answer.
Unfortunately, this
Oh
did
my
not get
gosh.
her.
Yeah.
This is going to get her into the main event, but as a result, she's not thrilled with a main eventer having to fight a jabroni in a feud. And this is like one of those weird cases where I don't think not having a feud would have been better, right? Like feud at
Yeah.
least gives you some amount of progress to work from. But man, it's a weird place to be.
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mixed bag. Yep.
I imagine that's not a match he plans to utilize more often, right? Like it'll be group matches and Nora happens to be there. But you then have to compare it to this match, and you'll note there is no feud. There's no feud in this match. I did clarify.
Yep.
This is where Walter's very much of the belief that sometimes people just wrestle, and that's just how wrestling
Yeah.
shows work. And I don't think he's incorrect necessarily, but he does have an interesting one. It's the street fight. He is at least spending some points on getting some gimmick matches in these weeklies now. And you look at Eddie Davis.
Eddie Davis.
18 years old, high work rate, pretty close to getting over, pretty close to becoming a main eventer, versus Surfista Hermano Santos, a surfer bro, 19 years old, not quite on the cusp of the kind of overness thresholds or from a tier perspective, certainly a lower mid carder he would love to be, or an upper mid carder, I should say. That's 600. I always forget that 600's upper mid card.
Yeah.
But that's the match we're looking at. Who do you think?
Please tell me it goes to Eddie, please.
It does, yeah.
Okay, good. He
And he
needs the
needed
morale,
a morale
boost. Dude. Yeah.
But he didn't really get much of one. It is 2%. But
Hey,
it's 2%
we'll take it.
yeah, but it's
We'll take it.
the street fight, unfortunately the effect seems to have decreased for the match, but it was experience for it, and I think the key for Walter, he just wants to level that up for the
totally valid
pay-per-view. So we'll see where
All
that
right.
goes.
Recap
The
hype.
recap package. And it went very well. That's a 4-star
4-star.
package,
Yeah.
which is, as of right now, his best segment of the night. So
Yep. Yep.
Amelie
Hey.
Gonzalez decided she did not want to hang out in the dumpster bin. She's got plans
Yeah.
tonight. She needs to, get.
She's allowed to eat at the table.
Absolutely. Yeah, she gets the nice place at the restaurant. Um,
Well, we'll see. I don't know if she's got any more packages. She might be eating at the kids' table, but at least she's in the the restaurant. All right.
she's got the roof over her head, and that's
Yeah.
enough
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes. Well, we have Telenovela, the new heel tag team that Walter
Oh
made recently,
yes.
got their first win on their debut match. Consequencia and Maestro Gomez, both of whom are great workers, dedicated wrestlers who love to show up in big matches. And then you have two members of the lads in Amanda Ace and Angelina Cardinal. This is a Walter classic match, right? It's a tag versus two people that aren't
Yep.
necessarily in a tag, but are grouped together through some faction angle. And there is a feud here between Angelina and Maestra that this is going to be.
No, this
leaning
looks like
on.
a good
So,
match. I mean,
yeah.
this is a very Walter match, but it looks like a good one. I mean,
Absolutely.
you got some decent work rates. You got decent charisma. You got folks that are very popular, and young on top of that. I think this could be a solid match. I, of course, would want to side with Telenovela, even though Cardinal and Ace have Layla Hurts. I personally would want to see the continued rise of Telenovela, but I'm curious to see where Walter ended up.
Well, see, he also wants to see the rise of Telenovela, but they're not doing it clean. This is a cheating
Gotcha.
finish for Telenovela. He gains half a star because it's full of action, loses half a star because it's cheating, um, and it ends up being a 3.5 overall match.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, obviously, like I think cheating can build some storylines. It certainly prevents like the lads from taking a popularity hit.
Yeah.
Though it seems to have also mitigated a little bit, maybe Telenovela's bonus. And something to consider with all these, right? No overness increases for anyone here.
Yeah.
Which one is going to happen when you have a match that doesn't have a feud because it's not likely to. You can't have a hot match outside of that feud
Yeah.
concept. But two, we've seen a couple matches that didn't have any gimmicks, and those are just. They're relying on these green stars, and so a cheating finish like that can be a little tough. It did not hurt anything. Nothing has been damaged necessarily, but
Yeah.
I'm sure 3.5 stars wasn't quite what Walter was hoping for when he went for that story-driven finish there. But we've still got two more matches on this card that I think are reason to be hyped. This one does not have any feuds in it as well. We have the Scribners, which is Anthony Scribner and Jay Scribner, two members of the Scribner family who have teamed up for some tag stuff, versus Kevin Bates and Virginia Warbler, who I had to double check here, but do not have any ties to each other whatsoever. It's just two people hanging out.
Two dudes
who happen to be faces and happen to be
they be
struggling
partying.
on the morale perspective, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I know Virginia took a big hit at the last one, losing to his brother, Cobra Gaston, and I would want to see Kevin Bates and Virginia take this, but I also, very bluntly, the Scribners are on the come up. They've got the storyline with Livia joining. I believe Livia is now dating one of them. I don't remember.
She's dating Cobra Gaston, if I remember correctly.
Oh, she's dating Cobra Gaston. Okay,
because
so that's
she
what it
is
is.
their sister.
Yes.
If you
Oh, right. No, I was actually going to say that they married, but then I remembered. Okay, wait, no, you're right. She's dating Cobra Gaston. That's what it is. Sorry, I had to remember the storyline. Not trying to impart any weird, stuff going on here. But okay.
I'm sure you won't get any DMs from Walter when he gets to this part of the video for sure.
So yes, Livia Scribner, right? So even more reason that I see the Scribners winning here, being something that is really impactful because she's on their side, right? But she's dating Virginia Warbler's brother, who is they're feuding. So if he wins, then it's an even bigger hit on both fronts from a story perspective. And I know how Walter likes a story perspective. I don't know what Kevin Bates has to do with any of this, okay? And maybe there's something else we're going to find out later. But I could see this going both ways. If it's me, I'm giving it to Virginia and Kevin though.
See, if it was me, I'm giving it to the Scribners because I believe that if you have a tag and you have two people that haven't fought together, the tag should win, right? Because the
Uh-huh.
idea is that there should be teamwork. They should have been practicing together, right? Like within the lore of the world, people
Uh-huh.
who have never fought together in a tag match should only be able to get so far on raw skill. And these are people who are less popular as wrestlers than the Scribners. So it's not like it's like, oh, these are two main eventers who deign to come into our tag show and remind us that the best are still the best. But Walter agrees with you. He went with Kevin Bates and Virginia Warbler. I imagine the morale that they've been struggling with had something to do with that. And it is his best night of the best match of the night so far. You got the small changes to popularity and small changes to morale, but it does work out, and I think that's a testament to the quality of the people in this match. But man,
Yeah.
I just like I look at this and I'm like, if you'd made a feud with maybe like Kevin versus one of them.
No, I mean, 100%. If Walter liked the game mechanics at all, which we know he is not extremely fond of, then he probably could have come away with a 5, maybe even 5+ star match here. That being said, I like what he's building from the story perspective. I like what he's doing there with Virginia Warbler getting the win. Livia being there to witness it. She was going to go back and lament to Cobra, who's going to come back and probably squash that feud by squashing his own brother.
Well, here's the thing I really like that Walter did is that he has made a new faction via a segment on the show. New Power. This is made in Japan with Empress Kabuki at the lead, Kenzo Nai and Shohei Hirano. That's a
Nice.
formidable trio. One that I
Yes, it
think will
is.
bounce off
Sure
each
is.
other well, and it's another faction to play with. I do think it's always better now that we're at this part of the game to do these things via production segments.
Hmm.
Granted, Eduardo felt the unfortunate side of it when his tag didn't get the name that he had picked, but I figured out where that drop down menu is now, and so made in Japan, here we are, and good for Walter for building a faction that I think will give some good stories for some time to come. But we move on to our match of the night, our main event. It is a street fight match. Look at that, two gimmicks in a single weekly card. Um, we've got Prodigy here, the classic faction with D'Angelo Star, Jordan Wolf, Devontae Harrell, and their manager Tyson Morso, versus this may look like three people, but it is the Prophets in Lane Cruz and Guru Sanji with special guest Raka. So there is at least, the game doesn't know how to show that, but we do have some people who have tag experience here who know how to work together as a unit and should make for one heck of a match.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, again, I have said it once. I'll say it again. I love the Prodigy. I love that they've got Tyson Morso behind them. A manager who's got quite a storied past. When you look across the journey of wrestling, lore, if you will. But that being said, within this promotion, the Prodigy just Prodigy have been don't want to run into that confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've been powerful. I don't have they ever performed in a trio?
I kind of feel like they have, which is why I'm surprised that they don't have a record in it.
I
Um,
think they've only performed in tags. I think this is their first trio. I could be mistaken. Maybe I'm misremembering. So
that's
Walter can
awesome.
correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. So I'm excited. I want to give it to them. I don't care. Rocket and Light and I don't care about it. Give it to them. Yeah.
Well, you are right, and unfortunately, Walter once again rolls badly on the street fight, which is a real bummer, honestly. I feel like the game is not helping our case that like gimmick matches are cool to put on weekly shows because Walter, like, yeah, the game just said no apparently, which is wild because this is a silver event. It shouldn't be this hard to get a little bit of a boost for some people who I think put on a decent match. Um, but that is unfortunately where it stands. It means the feud itself doesn't get a huge bonus here. We're not seeing massive popularity or morale changes from these wrestlers. And unfortunately, that's going to lead us with a 3.75 card, which does put him in last for the week as of now. I think to a certain extent, this card got a little unlucky. Some of these matches could have, been a good half
Yeah,
star
yeah.
higher,
I mean,
but
listen, he's not that far behind me, despite starting off from a lower place with the 2, 3 and 3/4 star match, or and I saw, like I said, the Virginia Warbler match. I genuinely think if he put just a little bit more money into that match, or added
yeah,
an extra feud or anything, that match is a 5, maybe even 5+ star match, and he would
100%.
have been over me today. So,
Yeah.
but listen, I like what Walter does with the storytelling. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
no shame to his game, because I think that some of the storylines and narratives he's building are really cool. And I'll be honest, it's influenced me.
Yeah.
It has influenced our promotion, Glory of Wrestling, because we are working to build some of those long-term storylines that maybe before we were just going for some hype, entertaining matches, which we're still all about. But I like some of the long-term stuff I've been seeing him build.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if Walter wanted to play the video game, then he'd be making some decisions. But he's not, which means I hope he's very happy with how that went down, because it furthers the
Yeah.
storylines that he has built. And the matches that didn't have storylines in them are things that, like, who knows what they inspire, right? With Walter, you're always kind of looking to see what that next card looks like. And I think we saw at the pay-per-view, right? He tied you in score. There's a reason he was not the last
Yeah.
card we looked into. And I think he has plans for that pay-per-view. I think he is laying the groundwork for something that can be really, really cool. So we'll have to see how the next couple weeklies go for him. But for now, we move on to Eduardo, who a 5-star card at the pay-per-view was somehow the weakest of the night last time. He's certainly hoping to do a little bit better, and he may have a few titles on the line as a result to maybe get some hype back in as we get into this weekly card. Also worth noting, I think Eduardo was the only person who only had 6 segments to fill on this weekly show. The game kind of
Yeah.
randomly gave him one fewer. Theoretically, it means it'll randomly give him one more later, you would hope, but
Yes.
we'll see where that goes. But we start our opening match of the night is a title match between it is a steel cage match between the Hiroshima Hotties and the Constellation. So a big match to start off our night. Constellation, obviously great workers, not quite as popular, but incredibly talented and over with the fans. The Hiroshima Hotties are on the verge of becoming main eventers as a duo, and would love to get their overness a little bit up. You hope a long title reign can get you there. Where do
Oh,
you think this ends
sorry,
up?
I was muted and didn't realize it. Hiroshima Hotties is where it goes.
Yeah, it sure does. You're not going to do the title change right now, but you are going to get 5.5
Five and a half
stars
star
and an
match and a
interesting
holy shit
story
moment.
boast and a
Yeah.
hot match and Kanata Yoshiwara is over with the fans and Toru is starting to get over with the fans. So it all worked. This is how you. This is it. This is the thing you can do.
That's the thing you can do 100%.
Look, obviously steel cage matches cost you, but he got the holy shit moment, which means it already paid for itself.
Yeah.
And now the injury rate is reduced for steel cage matches moving forward, which has got to feel great. We move on now to a 1v1 match, picking off an already hot feud between Mrs. XPW of outlet that no longer exists, Juno Ripshaw, and Pink Arrow. Pink Arrow, obviously, a beloved face, not quite over with the fans yet, but she is popular. And she certainly would love to become that 4-4. Juno, of course, already there, looking at that 773 popularity and thinking, I could be a main eventer. I'm ready for this. That's the whole feud that they've got here. So who do you think ultimately takes this one on?
Man, I feel like Pink Arrow really needs a win, but I also see the argument for just propelling Juno further, getting Juno over that threshold, and moving Juno up the card.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument for either side, which is how you know that this is a good match. I think there's a lot to to like for both of these competitors. The good news here is that it is going to go to Pink Arrow. Pink Arrow
Okay.
fans are going to be thrilled to see that. She's
Yeah.
starting to get over with the fans. Um, and, it's a little bit of an overness and morale hit for Juno, but nothing she can't handle. And Pink
Yeah,
Arrow,
surprised the match isn't as good though. I mean, 3 and 3/4 stars for these two very talented wrestlers is a bit surprising.
yeah.
Even without a gimmick or anything like that, I would still expect it to break 4 stars. So,
Mhm.
obviously that part sucks, but you do accomplish what I think was important here, which is making that move for Pink Arrow and keeping them, basically neck and neck, giving Pink Arrow a win after being 0-2. I still think this is the right call.
Well, and this is where the randomness comes in, right? We
Yep.
know when we've done our test leagues, when I've tested out mechanics on that random WWE file, you can have the exact same match and the exact same conditions and get completely different results. So I think, unfortunately, it was a little bit of a low roll here for Eduardo, but it did accomplish what it needed to do. But more importantly, we have the League of Extraordinary Ladies who have come together here.
League of Extraordinary. I love that.
Hey Lee as a faction leader. You got Allison, Lulu, and Juno all coming together. And I think this faction has a lot to be excited about. I really like forming factions in cards like this. Weeklies are the
Yeah.
perfect time to make that push. Now, unfortunately, um, I've already got everyone in my company in a faction, so I will never be able to do this. But I think
Well,
I
you,
think
you you could end a faction and rebuild maybe one or two out of it. That's
nope.
a possibility.
Anyway, I
Oh,
just I just saw
no,
I just saw how
no.
that went for you, my dude. I don't think I will. I don't think I will. But look, I do think doing tags that way now that I know where the drop down menu is will be great. Um, I think it's going to be super interesting to see where the League of Extraordinary Ladies goes next. But we have to move on for now because this is Jason Cortez with El Arcangel del Fuego, a great worker, starting to get over with the crowd. Would love to be a main eventer. Certainly has the skills for it. But Ishikame, also someone in a very similar position, 75 overness, another 3-3 on the cusp of doing some main event shenanigans. So, both of these very similar skill sets, very similar breakdowns. Who do you think gets the nod?
Oof, this is rough. This is rough. Man, I would like to give it to Jason, but I think somewhere deep down it's going to Ishii.
Interesting. What makes you think it's going to Ishii?
I just feel like that's where his head is at. I think that I don't know. There's something about El Arcángel de Fuego that has been really hit or miss, and I think that Ishii is really close to being over. He's taken 2 hits already for the squad, and this could be a big win to give him.
I just find it fascinating because you're like, there's something deep in me that makes me think I'm on the same wavelength as Eduardo, and you are on the same wavelength as Eduardo. This is an Ishikami win. It is only a 3.5 star match. It started this headhunting feud between the two of them, so it didn't have a lot to build off of heading into the
Yeah,
match. It's also a match that didn't have any gimmick or fancy ending, so sometimes you don't quite roll the way you want. But I do think Ishikami certainly will appreciate the popularity boost. It's just
yeah.
a shame that there's no overness there. You really would have loved
Yeah,
to.
you would have liked to see some overness there for Jason
But but
and Ishii.
Ishii now has a 1-2 record that makes him more credible
Yeah,
for future matches, and Jason's gonna be all right. He's still got Archangel de Fuego on his side, so that's I think some long form storytelling here. And here's the thing: we've got another tag match in a steel cage with Phantom Troop versus Bittersweet. Um, and so, obviously, I think this is where Eduardo's focusing his card, and perhaps for good reason, because Bittersweet 2-0 right now. We just saw Allison and Lulu join the
yeah. The
League of
faction.
Extraordinary
Yeah.
Ladies.
I
Uh,
think it goes to bittersweet. Sorry, I think it's got to go to bittersweet. Not to cut you off.
you're not gonna
The
let me
tag
try to
tips.
talk you into Keegan Cohen,
You're not gonna do it.
fantastic. Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
gonna do it.
Oh
It's going
no,
to
no,
bittersweet.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. God, I scrolled as I clicked. That was a misclick. Why am I like this?
oh my
You
god!
saw me click on it.
I
You
saw,
saw it. You,
I saw. Oh no!
I accidentally
Oh,
bumped my mouse wheel.
oh no!
Oh my god.
Uh,
Eduardo's gonna
I
like
mean,
when I meet him in
yeah.
real life, he's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna deserve it. I'm gonna have earned it, and I don't. Oh
oh
my
my god!
god, and that's a
Like,
rep hit for the new faction, and
uh,
it's. I mean, it's a holy shit moment.
it's a holy shit moment. All the wrestlers individually were happy, and
Yeah.
it was a good match. But once again, Eduardo's card
You,
is struck.
you can't make this up, man. I just, you know, I'm just gonna click on Conrad Supernova. I'm just gonna play it safe. I'm just gonna hit the button. I don't want to do this anymore. It's a 4.5 star tables match.
oh no! Oh no! I'm laughing, but it's so. Oh god, that's. Why is it always Eduardo? Why? Oh my god! Oh no!
Eduardo wins the week with a 4.75 card. Let's see how the fan movement happened. 62.2 thousand fans for Eduardo. I
oh my
gained some
god!
fans as well. Walter lost a lot. You lost quite a bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so it was all worth it, right?
it was all worth it. Oh no!
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Well, folks, um,
I'm sorry.
maybe I just shouldn't be in charge of the clicking part. Maybe I just give you my account details. I just wow.
uh,
Well, I hope you guys had fun watching this. Until next time, goodbye, internet.
goodbye.